HOA Karen called cops when I denied pool access. Now her HOA is facing a full lawsuit. The summer heat clung to Willow Creek like a second skin, and the community pool was the only oasis in our suburban sprawl. I'd been elected to the HOA board 6 months ago, a reluctant 28-year-old landscaper named Ethan, tasked with enforcing rules nobody seemed to read. The pool was the heart of our neighborhood, but it was also a battleground. Karen Mitchell, the self-appointed queen of Willow Creek, had made it her personal kingdom. She'd been on the HOA board for a decade, wielding her gavel like a scepter, and her latest obsession was controlling pool access with an iron grip. It started innocently enough. Karen demanded that only approved residents could use the pool, citing vague safety concerns. She'd hand-picked a list of families, mostly her friends, and barred others, including me, claiming my landscaping job made me unvetted. I wasn't even allowed a key, despite paying the same dues as everyone else. The rules were clear: equal access for all dues-paying residents. But Karen didn't care about rules unless they served her. One sweltering July afternoon, I'd had enough. A group of kids, including my little cousin Mia, were turned away from the pool because Karen deemed their families undesirable. Mia came home crying, her swimsuit still dry. I grabbed the HOA bylaws, marched to the pool, and found Karen lounging by the gate, sipping lemonade like a dictator overseeing her fiefdom. "Karen," I said, my voice steady but burning, "the bylaws say everyone gets access. Open the gate." Her eyes narrowed, her lips curling into a smirk. "You don't get to tell me how to run my pool, Ethan. I'm protecting this community." "Your pool," I snapped, holding up the bylaws. "This belongs to all of us. You're breaking the rules." The crowd gathered, neighbors, kids, even old Mr. Jenkins with his walker. Karen's face reddened as she stood, her voice rising to a shrill pitch. "You're nobody. I'll call the cops if you don't leave." "Do it," I said, crossing my arms. "Let's see what they say about your little power trip." She didn't bluff. Within minutes, 2 officers arrived, their radios crackling. Karen spun a tale of me threatening her, her hands flailing dramatically. The crowd murmured, some nodding in her favor, others shooting me sympathetic glances. I handed the bylaws to Officer Daniels, a tired-looking man who skimmed them and sighed. "Ma'am," he said to Karen, "if he's a resident, he has a right to be here. This is a civil matter." Karen's face contorted, her voice a near scream. "This is my community. I decide who's safe." That's when the twist came. Mr. Jenkins, the quiet widower who'd lived here longer than anyone, hobbled forward. His voice, frail but firm, cut through the chaos. "Karen, you've been skimming HOA funds for years. I've got receipts, pool repairs that never happened, contracts given to your nephew's company." "Ethan's right. You're a fraud." The crowd gasped. Karen froze, her eyes darting like a cornered animal. Jenkins, the unassuming neighbor nobody noticed, had been watching her for years. He'd collected evidence, bank statements, emails, even photos of her nephew's shoddy work. The revelation hit like a thunderbolt, shifting the crowd's mood. Whispers turned to accusations. Karen's allies slunk back, their loyalty crumbling. I seized the moment. "Karen, step aside, or we're taking this to court." She didn't move. Instead, she doubled down, shoving me as she screamed about her rights. The officers intervened, escorting her away as she hurled insults. The gate stayed locked that day, but the battle was far from over. Word spread like wildfire. Jenkins shared his evidence with the HOA and the truth unraveled. Karen had misappropriated thousands, funneling money to her cronies while neglecting the community. The pool, our supposed pride, was crumbling, leaky pipes, outdated filters, all ignored while Karen played gatekeeper. The lawsuit came swiftly. I teamed up with Jenkins and a dozen other residents, hiring a lawyer to sue the HOA for mismanagement and discrimination. Karen was ousted from the board, but the damage was done. The legal fees drained our community funds, and the pool stayed closed for repairs we couldn't afford. Families moved away, bitter and divided. Mia never swam there again. Months later, I stood by the empty pool, its water drained, the tiles cracked. Jenkins joined me, his eyes heavy with regret. I should have spoken up sooner, he said. Thought keeping quiet would keep the peace. You spoke when it mattered, I told him. That's more than most. Karen moved away, her reputation in tatters. Some neighbors still defended her, claiming she'd only wanted to protect us. Others saw her for what she was, a bully who'd torn our community apart. The lawsuit dragged on, a bitter reminder of how one person's ego could poison everything. In the end, genealogies, we won a partial victory. The HOA was reformed, but the community remained fractured. The pool, once a symbol of unity, became a ghost town, its gates rusted shut. I think about Mia's face that day, her tears, and wonder if I could have handled it differently. Maybe I should have tried harder to reason with Karen before it escalated. But Jenkins was right, silence only lets people like her thrive. The cost of justice was steep, though. Our neighborhood, once tight-knit, felt like a stranger's land. What would you have done in my place? Fought for what's right or let it go to keep the peace?